What's up, Arizona? Thank you so much for watching us here on the 12 Plus app for your TV. Cameron Cox coming to you from Denver. You're watching 12 Sports tonight on 12 Plus. Of course, we're leading up to the second preseason game between the Cardinals and the Broncos. We are out here for joint practice with the Broncos, and I will say, standing on this field, yes, we're a mile high. Yes, we're in Denver. Yes, there are mountains. It's supposed to be cooler here. It was not by any means. It actually felt just as hot, believe it or not. 98 degrees on the field with 100% humidity. It almost felt like practicing back in the Valley. Coming up on the show, of course, we're going to catch you up on all things Cardinals. We're going to catch you up on the D-backs, who, by the way, out here in Colorado, about to open up in a series against the Rockies. They're starting to climb the wild card standings once again, and we're also checking in with the Sun Devils. A lot to get to, so let's roll the tape. They said, come on this trip. No problem, right? It's not going to be hot. You're up in the mountains. It's going to be cool. Just kidding. It is like 98 degrees right now in Denver. The humidity is like at 100%. It might as well feel like we are baking back in the Phoenix sun out there in the Valley. But, of course, Cardinals out here to get to work. Joint practice with the Broncos. Only one of these before their preseason game on Saturday. And if you ask the players, they'll tell you it went well. The competition ramped up a little bit. We got a chance to talk to guys like Calais Campbell and Trey McBride after practice. Both said the defense and the offense hung pretty well against a Broncos team that, believe it or not, around these Denver parts, they're talking Super Bowl. Head coach Jonathan Gannon says they got everything they needed out of this practice.
I always thought these were really valuable, especially if you can get done what you need to get done. Sometimes you do two, sometimes you do one. I think off the top of my head, this is first time doing one. A couple phone calls, and then we met yesterday. So it's cool. He does things the right way. There's certain teams that I'm really excited to practice versus when you look at all the other teams out there, and this was one of them. Just because I know the operation that he runs a tight ship. They're always well coached, his teams. They do things the right way. They're disciplined. They play hard. So that's what I was looking to get out of this.
Look who we saw at practice. That is D-backs manager Torey Lavello. Of course, the D-backs out here opening up a series a little bit later on today against the Rockies. So Lavello watching practice. And we also got some breaking news. According to Broncos head coach Sean Payton, both starters, the Broncos and the Cardinals, will not play Saturday when the two take the field. After Cardinals and Broncos joint practice, we run into the legend here in Denver, Mike Kliss, our sister station here in Denver, 9 News insider for the Broncos. Mike, it's good to see you. You fired up?
Yeah. It was a nice joint practice. Bo Nix had his best day in a long time.
I thought so, too. The Bronco offense looked pretty good.
Yeah, they did. I didn't watch the defense, so I can't give you much expertise over there. But I'm hearing your team's going to be better than usual.
Better than usual. I picked 12 wins. There's not a lot of people on my there's not a lot of people on my island yet. But there's some talk about Super Bowl around these parts. Is that accurate, Mike?
Well, yeah, I mean, they had it internally, and then Sean Payton mentioned it to Charles Robinson of Yahoo. He dropped the word Super Bowl, and so that grew legs, of course. And he talked about Bo Nix being a top 4 or 5 quarterback in a couple of years. That grew legs. The couple of years it gets dropped, and it's just top 4 or 5 quarterback. So, there's some haughty expectations for the Broncos. I thought they're 10-7, make the playoffs last year. It's realistic to think 11-6 and win a playoff game this year, but Sean's not stopping there.
Mentioned Bo. What did you see out there from joint practice?
Yeah, I thought Bo was throwing the ball with authority. Not dunking and dinking. Throwing the ball with high velocity, 15 to 18 yards, and hitting completions. So you never know because they don't quite sack, There
looked like a few Cardinal sacks that got to him, and the play just kept going.
Yeah, that happens all the time. And so, but it was so good today. They just announced, Sean Payton just announced no starters in the preseason game on Saturday, which is unfortunate. So, but I thought it was the best Bo Nix had looked in a while. He looked good early in training camp, then went through a little lull where he wasn't quite as effective, and today was his best day in a while.
I remember standing in the bushes outside the Cardinals facility when Sean Payton was coming to interview for the Cardinal job. Yeah. I got the shot of him walking in, and then, of course, he leaving with Michael Bidwell. That was before he started dropping the orange tie on the Fox broadcast and the hints that he was coming to Denver. Yeah. 2 coaches that could have ended up maybe in other spots, right? Or the opposite spot, I should say.
That's right. Gannon interviewed in 2022. That was the year the Broncos hired Nathaniel Hackett, and Sean took that year off. So they weren't quite on the same deal. And Gannon, it was in Philadelphia with Gannon, steak dinner, a high-end restaurant. I heard it went real well. They really were impressed with Gannon, and not surprised that the Cardinals wound up hiring him that year, right? He's been the head coach since 2022. And then
Both
Sean
were hired at the same time.
Hackett didn't work out for the Broncos. Didn't even make it one.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
A couple months and done.
Yeah, a couple months and done. And then Greg Penner was in control of the team by then. He ran the coaching search, and he zeroed in on Jim Harbaugh, D'Amico Ryans. He liked him, and then Sean Payton. And you could make a case that Sean was kind of their third pick because, with a qualifier, he was their third pick because they had to make a trade for him. And they just gave up 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks for Russell Wilson a year earlier. With Sean, it was going to be a first-round pick and a second-round pick a year later. And so they didn't want to do that. So that's why he was running third. By itself, of course, they'll tell you that he was their choice all along.
But it worked out for both teams.
Sean has turned this team around. No doubt.
He's done the same with the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think so. So different styles. Sean's been here forever. Gannon's still getting his, making his footprints on the head coaching industry. But you watch the Arizona Cardinals from afar, like we do here in Denver, and you notice how competitive against the tough teams they've been, even though they haven't always pulled them out. But they've been more competitive than in the past. And then you see them pull one out once in a while. So I understand your optimism.
I am optimistic.
Yeah.
I am. They've got to stay healthy, and Kyler Murray has to play well. Mike, appreciate the time. Real quick out the door. You got your wallet?
I hopefully it's upstairs in the press room.
This man always loses his wallet.
Yeah, I do.
If you find it, return to Mike Kliss in Denver.
Our cameraman Jeff Dressel is the guy who's in charge of finding it, and Brian Olson.
He's laughing at you.
Yeah, they've both been on the wallet search. I don't know.
This is how popular this guy is. He's got a crew for his wallet.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
True story.
Coach, real quick, I need your last name.
D-Latibo-Dare. D-Latibo-Dare.
How many people get that right on a daily basis?
Not too many people.
Not too many.
Ever since I was a kid, I remember I was in kindergarten and I wasn't allowed to go outside until the teacher thought that I spelled my last name correctly, and she never got it right. So I was sitting in there watching all the kids play, and it was the saddest thing in the world because she didn't think I was spelling my last name correctly.
Really?
Yeah.
They wouldn't let you go outside?
They wouldn't let me go outside. It was a big deal. I know it probably didn't seem like a big deal to them, but I mean, that broke my heart. I remember it to this day.
So when did Coach Debo, when did that come about?
It came in Charlotte.
Gotcha.
So I remember walking into the office and everybody was like butchering my last name. Cody Woodle, who's the tight ends coach at Miami, he was like, I'm just calling you Debo. From then on, just picked up by everywhere I went.
Well, Coach, one thing that stood out to me, Calais Campbell said you probably have more reps in practice than anybody else on the team.
Yeah.
When you hear that from a vet like Calais, that just shows you you're in it, right?
Right.
What does that mean? Why?
I'm excited to hear that he noticed that because first of all, I'm dripping sweat at the end of every single practice.
Yeah.
But second of all, I want the guys to be able to see that I'm not going to ask them to do anything that I wouldn't do. So I'm not going to ask you to do anything where you would put your body in harm's way, anything physically where you would hurt yourself, or I wouldn't ask you to do something that wouldn't actually get you better. So I've gone through these drills, I've felt how the pressure needed to feel, the maneuvering of the footwork, and now I'm able to let them go and apply it in their game.
Some people call you crazy. I mean, you're taking reps against, guys that are a little bit bigger than you, guys maybe that are a little bit stronger than you. I know you're not too far from your playing days, but why stick yourself in that?
I think that you got to have a delusional mentality, right? Like right now, youth, right? The ability to be active, that's my superpower. One day I won't have it anymore. Well, like Superman is Superman until he hits his kryptonite. 30 years, I'll have kryptonite. But for right now, I'm going to get in it so the guys can feel the drill work. They can understand the movement. They can see the fluidity of the drills. And if I can demo it, daggone well I'm going to go demo it.
Most of the time you got that big pad on, right?
I do.
Just safety reasons.
I do. Safety reasons, right? JG will come get on me if I don't have that pad because he's like, dude, I don't want you on the IR list. Like, that's not the point of you being here. So I go ahead and I wear that pad, but I'm able to allow them to utilize their hand strike, accurate hand movement, active feet, all in that drill coming out of their head.
And what did the guys tell you? Did they give you a hard time? Do they critique your reps at all? Because I know you go back and watch film on all them. You're like, hey, Calais, you did this. Walter,
no doubt.
You did this,
Yeah.
But do they like, hey, Coach Debo, you got to get better at this?
Oh my gosh, they'll be out there talking smack. Like Barron was laughing the other day. Like Sweaty was over there giggling a little bit. They were laughing at me because I was getting tired. But it was my 30th rep, it might have been their 3rd or 4th rep. So LJ talks a lot of smack to me, right? But at the end of the day, all those guys are appreciative that I'm in it, I'm bringing energy, passion, and juice, and they reciprocate that just the same. Best advice that I got when I went down the coaching road, I think was what I just said, and it was from Mike Tomlin. Don't stop dreaming that same dream that you had when you were a child. And it transitioned from being the dream of being a professional football player to now being a professional football coach. And I'm living that dream, and I can continue to chase that on a day-to-day basis.
Was it hard, though, starting at the bottom? Because you're coming from being a college football player, obviously, and then when you start, say, GA role it a little bit, you're at the bottom of the totem pole there, right?
Yeah, humility. Like, go get the coffee, cool, I'll go get the coffee. If you want 3 creamers, I'm gonna put the best daggone 3 creamers I can find in there. If you want two sugars, I'm gonna put the best daggone 2 sugars in there that I can find. It was about doing my job at a maximum level and really starring in my role. So every time I got a chance to move up, I was appreciative of that time in that territory, and then God blessed me to move on to new territory.
JG, take me through the interview process. What did he ask you? What was that like behind the scenes? When you got the call and it was like, hey, you got the job, what was your reaction?
Oh my gosh, going through the interview process, I mean, like, this dude JG is as detailed as they come. So he's asking me about every single part of my teaching progression, my passion for D-line. He wants to know about my day-to-day routine just for me, from a health perspective. He's like, are you living the right way in order to be able to take care of yourself, in order to go ahead and take the next step as a coach? Because if you don't take care of yourself, you're not gonna be able to take care of your guys. When I got the job, I was overjoyed. I mean, my wife was pregnant. We did have to move from a very, very cold place to a very, very hot place, right? But the moving process was smooth, it was fluid, and that's how I think you know that I was supposed to be here.
You mentioned your wife. What type of role has she played in kind of helping you chase this dream? Because I know it's not easy.
It's not.
Family too as well.
It's not. Well, like in Oregon, she was paying the rent. And that's something that nobody knows. She was working a job to pay the rent so I could go and chase this dream of coaching.
You were a GA, right?
And I was a GA.
Bottom of the totem pole.
Bottom of the totem pole, not getting a lot of money. GA rules have changed, thank God, right? Guys get a little bit more money. But she was paying the rent, she was like providing food, she was making sure mentally, physically, emotionally, I was staying on my square. So being able to do so, like, that's why right now my whole goal is to be able to give her the world through this same game that I'm coaching, and hopefully I can take steps in order to be able to do so.
When you trade guys away, you might end up seeing them down the road.
Yes, and sometimes that's within 2 weeks of you just getting settled in your new digs, trying to get the family out there. But we saw the Diamondbacks trade away a handful of key players at the deadline, and they're trying to get into the wild card race again. They were in it, out of it, in it, and now they're just trying to hold on to just being competitive down the stretch. But how about the fun storyline, as you mentioned, facing a guy that they had on this roster not too long ago, Zach Gallen and the Diamondbacks facing Merrill Kelly and the Rangers, a World Series rematch, a rubber match today. Also, it looked like the fun duel was shaping up to be everything it was billed to be. 3 runs and 5 innings for Merrill, but in a twist, Merrill Kelly's bullpen let him down. He was escaping that here in Arizona, right? 9th inning here. What a way to start here as the Diamondbacks start to rally. 2-run deficit, 2 outs. James McCann goes yard to make it a run-1 game, and then Ketel Marte, he continues his MVP caliber season. A 3-run homer gives the D-backs their first lead of the game. A bittersweet way to snatch victory away from one of your old buddies and teammates.
Obviously, Kelly throwing against the Diamondbacks for the first time in his career. It's something that I'm sure they'll be making fun of each other for a while, but they both threw the ball well, and when they left the game, it was a tight ball game, really anybody's game to win.
Merrill had, had his way with him on that pitch, and I think good hitters make adjustments, and McCann's very capable of going out there and making adjustments in the middle of an at-bat, and he clipped him, and it got us right back in the game, gave us a little momentum, and then when Blaze got hit by the pitch and you turn it over to the top of the lineup, it got real.
So you see they played it just how they wanted to. The answerbacks were in the building. 6-4 the final today. Now they're just 6 games back of a wild card spot. They come up to the Rockies on the road, 4 games against the worst team in baseball. So a lot of opportunities ahead to make up some ground in the standings. But the issue of the D-backs right now is not necessarily how many games they are back. It's the teams they have to leapfrog to somehow sneak into that wild card race. We're talking about the Giants, division rival, the Cardinals, the Reds, the Mets, the Marlins. And it's really tight in the National League right now, especially. They'll be facing some of those guys down. There's a chance, but again, they have to win pretty much every series all the way through the rest of the season. So it's going to be tight, and we're going to maybe go down to 162 as we look ahead to October, right? If we get some playoff baseball.
Great trip up to Camp T for the Sun Devils. Their annual training camp getaway up in the White Mountains, just a huge success. Record crowds for the defending Big 12 champs. Lena, we all saw this. ASU put out this photo Saturday before their scrimmage. It's just awesome, right? The cameras up there pretty high, catching the sights and sounds. Our cameras caught a lot of cool things too as well. Lena, you and Jake were out there all week. This had to be the most people you've ever seen out of Camp T, right?
Yeah, well, I've only been there 3 times now, but take a look at last year's crowd. Well, it was pretty sizable, right? Last year, these cars weren't even here on the left side of the road. This is blocked off. They close off a side of State Route 260 for parking. This was the scene an hour and a half before the scrimmage. The sun's not even all the way up.
Yeah, it's still coming up.
Yes, and you saw fans, families, and you have to remember these cars are packing a lot of people in them. So you look at it as many cars there are, multiply that by like 4 people. Fans were out in force last year after a 3-win season, and after you win the conference championship, you get that kind of turnout.
Sure.
But then you had to go into the facility, right? And then we had a little Sun Devil entrance cam, a lot of forks up, a lot of maroon and gold. Fans had their gear. They're ready to go. That's my friend Zoe. She wants to be just like us, Cam. But they were signing autographs, the players, as they walked down from the cabins. And it was just really cool to see all of these families creating core memories.
Yeah. You don't really get a lot of this, right? There's no designated seating out at Camp T. So fans, of course, got to get creative. They got to get up amongst the trees, finding ways to sit wherever they can behind some of the cabins, climbing over the rocks, the cacti, all the above, looking for any possible shade. Look how cool that view is, by the way. Temps were up there in the upper 90s, so it was a hot one, but still beautiful to be up there at Camp T. And then there's fans, Lena. There are super fans, and then there's whatever kind of fan you want to call this. This one fan, nothing would stop him from watching his favorite team practice. This is Shane. Says he hit an elk on his way to the scrimmage. Did not stop me from making it. I think at least the car made it.
At least the car made it. I have to say there was wildlife out there. Deer, elk, longhorns, and then, of course, the Devils. They were animals out there at the scrimmage, ready for that action. But wide receiver Jordan Tyson was held out, giving guys an opportunity to build a connection with quarterback Sam Levitt. But the defense dominated most of the day. You see them stuffing Kyson Brown there. The offense found a way to respond, however. Check out the big freshman tight end, A.J. Ia, as Kenny Dillingham gets fired up for the stop there. The offense responds. That's from quarterback Jeff Sims for the touchdown. Then the final drive of the day, 2-minute drill. That's Alabama transfer Jaron Turbo Hamilton introducing himself to Sun Devil Nation with a couple big catches and a TD to end the scrimmage. Dilly says they accomplished a lot up at Camp T, but there's still plenty of work to do ahead of their season opener against NAU.
I mean, we looked organized. We looked efficient. We didn't look like a cluster for the first scrimmage. Live scrimmage with no coaches on the field, none of it. We looked efficient. We have a long way to go, though. A long way to go, but I definitely liked how they operated, I would say that.
Yeah, I mean, we got after the defense about 2 days ago. They got after us today early on. That's how we know we're a good football team. We should be able to beat each other. If one side is heavily dominated in the week, I think we should be in trouble one way or the other. So I think it was neat to come back and finish off strong. We were happy the defense showed up. We were on their necks about what we did to them a couple days ago, and they kind of came back with it, so the energy's healthy.
But I love how we face adversity. I love how we just respond, and I love just the camaraderie on the team. Like, we're going to pick each other up and tell each other, the truth about anything, and just going to continue to fight.
Lena, they're going to be so good this year.
Let's hope
I'll
so.
just say it.
Specialists have been about as special as possible here at Camp T. Their booming punts and drilled kicks have caught everyone's attention. So much attention, they've been inundated with media requests. Call it a welcome to America moment for Jesus Gomez and Matt McKenzie.
Inconsistent this year.
ASU's kicking game last year more closely resembled a game of kicking and screaming.
Nowhere close.
Kenny Dillingham went as far as a cry for help.
Our kicking game's atrocious. So if you can kick and you're at Arizona State, email me.
Turns out the solution wasn't in the backyard, it was across borders. Matt McKenzie can clear continents, and Jesus Gomez can split the uprights.
I feel like I've shown I can be consistent. I can hit a long field goal, and whenever they need me, I'm going to show up and do the work.
Gomez is a converted soccer player after a childhood in Mexico.
I just felt like soccer wasn't the sport for me anymore. It wasn't having fun, and I just thought, why not football?
He moved to the United States for college and spent his first 4 seasons at Eastern Michigan. He hit the kick that led to the firing of Herm Edwards.
And the lefty stroke is good.
I kicked 3 field goals. The last one pretty much to seal the game. It was a 20-yarder going into the student section, I remember.
The Sun Devils couldn't beat him, so they got him. And while they were at it, expanded their punting search too.
I got to the US 2 weeks ago, right? So it's been pretty, it's been a fast start, learning the game, learning everything I can, doing my best.
Mackenzie had been playing in the Australian Football League, then became the next Pro Kick product. The Australia-based punting service has molded countless D1 kickers. Mackenzie is the latest success story.
Successful punters, you've got a lot of weapons, not just like, oh, I can roll out and do the rugby stuff, I can also spiral.
ASU thinks its special team spiral is in the past. And while the cultural and language barriers might still need smoothing,
I say something, and then it's when I see collectively everyone in my special teams room look around kind of like, did that make sense?
Dillingham knows legs like these aren't lost in translation.
If he's kicking, like, I may not even watch. I may just go talk to somebody else because I have a lot of confidence he's making it.
Both Gomez and Mackenzie aren't guaranteed starting jobs. Both are competing with returners at their positions. They say they hope to be the starter in week 1, but just getting to ASU has made the journey worth it.
We're becoming a brand. You know, I mean, you look at the Camp Tontozona and the footage that was put out by our team, Taylor and his team, they do an unbelievable job. They don't get enough credit. They're essentially the marketing directors for Arizona State football. And they're doing, they don't listen to me, they run with it, right? And they do an unbelievable job. So I think Sam's marketability is one, kudos to him and his work ethic and the brand he's building for himself. And then 2, the brand that Arizona State is building for football that is giving the platform to the guys. So I think it's a combination of where we're at as a program and where Sam is at as an individual. So that's actually really good news. There's something about SCAT last year too. So I mean, that's positive that we're on those lists for best natural real NIL. That's really good. When you're building college football, people have to join your program. They want to be a part of your program, right? And there's a multitude of reasons why people join your program. Everybody leans to one reason right now, right? That's the go-to reason, but there's many other reasons why people join your program, whether it's culture, whether it's academics, regardless of what people think, whether it's lifestyle, whether it's the development from a specific coach. There's a lot of different reasons. So when we can show that the city and you can get this national recognition in a city, at a college that's in a city, right, one of the best cities to live in the country, I think it shows that we have a little small town feel in a big city, which is rare.
What things do you want to see and need to see from Saturday scrimmage?
I want to answer it well. I don't just want to say an answer, right? So I want to see us tackle, right? I want to see us run the ball better. I want to see us not turn the ball over. I want to see us make kicks in this stadium and punt the ball well in this stadium because we're going to do some special teams in that period. The most important thing is I want to see the intensity that it's almost go time. Like, it's almost that time. And like I told the guys after practice today, we're 2 weeks, 3 days, and it's go time. And if you're not getting in that state of mind and you're not preparing more than you have, if every day is not just 2 minutes extra of whatever you're doing to get yourself ready, it's going to be here. And you better prepare for it. So I want to see the look in their eyes that the next time I'm on this field, it's go time. Like I want that energy, I want that passion. If there's one thing I want to look for, it's that. Is I want the look in the eyes. I want to see it.
That'll do it for us. Thank you so much for watching 12 Sports Tonight on 12+. We'll see you right back here Sunday night for 12 Sports Tonight at 10:30, Arizona's longest running sports show. Good night. God bless.